Hey y'all, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. Today we are drinking Saint Sebastiaan Grand Reserve Ale out of Brouwerij Sterkens from Meer, Belgium. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional, somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. Back to do that once again, and we are excited about this one. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. I am Ben. What are we drinking today, gentlemen?
Saint Sebastian's Grand Reserve Ale. I've been excited about this bottle. I'm ready.
Yeah. Only the finest.
Nothing else. Excited about the bottle. So
yeah.
Let's see.
All right.
I mean, a pint comes out of this big thing. Just let some of the air out of it. Seem to be okay.
I don't know. It may not went on a huge elevation.
I mean, it came from. I got this at the gas station in Louisiana, so it did come from the Delta.
I was about to say it's lower to here to even higher here.
Yeah, that attic is.
Yeah, we up there.
What's the elevation of that attic now?
Look at that! I got the whole thing in the glass.
Hmm.
Although I did find one thing curious. Why did they put a cap on it when it's a flip top?
That's a very curious thought, especially when it's only a pint.
Yeah,
I would say probably that probably had to do with the transportation of it, honestly.
But all the other from Europe, they put that flip top. That's what I'm like, come on, I feel cheated.
I think it's marketing. Or that flip top on it, they know people that do lame beer shows will buy it. So
suckers.
That's all it takes.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Okay. Well, this is a Belgian strong golden ale. Typically, they're fruity and complex. Spiciness from Belgian yeast and usually a drier finish. And I would agree with all those to describe Belgian strong golden ale.
It's the nail right there.
I wish they would had described the fruit that they used. And their website didn't have anything. This beer is 10%, so strong being the key word on that one. And it's a limited edition, single batch each year.
Wow.
And they put it in the ceramic jars, as you can see, which is truly ceramic because we've had some other ones that we had, like Delirium puts theirs. It's actually a glass bottle with a coating on the outside, and we discovered that. We're like, boo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So before I go on about the namesake of the beer, it is from the Brouwerij Sterkens out of Meer, Belgium. It's a microbrewery founded in 1651. And they're run by 14 generations now of the Sterkens family. 14 generations. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
And they make Abbey style beers. But y'all familiar with Saint Sebastiaan, who that is?
I am not. No.
I rely on your research, Andy.
Okay, here we go.
My Catholic upbringing has abandoned me.
Well, I was about to say, I don't recall in all the years of Catholic school the name could have been said. I don't know. I mean, he's big in the church too, evidently. But Saint Sebastiaan is a martyr, and he's most famously known for surviving the first attempt of being persecuted by being tied to a tree and shot with arrows. the Roman emperor at the time, Diocletian, discovered his Christianity, which at the time was outlawed. They were persecuted and killed, and he was ordered to be tied to a tree and shot. Well, they shot him, left him, but they didn't kill him. This widow called Irene of Rome came upon him and discovered that she was going to prepare his body for burial, found that he wasn't dead, nursed him back to life. You'd think he would learn. Nope. Then once he was healthy enough, he came back into town and waited for a procession of the Emperor Diocletian coming through, and he started haranguing him even more, coming out. And so Diocletian was surprised by this. Hey, I thought you were dead. But he wasn't deterred, and he ordered the people to take him, and they took him and beat him to death and made sure he was dead and threw him into the sewer. And then somebody brought him out of the sewer and gave him a proper burial. So poor Saint Sebastian. He was.
So what is he the saint of?
They a lot of people, especially during the time of the plague, athletes, soldiers. I don't know the patron saint of what. It didn't specify, but protection. They wanted, to survive in a competition or a battle or something like that. So he's popular with people facing illness and stuff like that. Yeah, you'd think you'd learn. But he was popularized and glorified a lot in the 17th century and a lot of Renaissance paintings. And he was shown, associated with arrows. He has like 3 or 4 arrows, usually either in his hand or showing pictures of him with arrows in him, looking up to the skies. And
not the chubby guy with the beer in his hand on the label.
I am guessing that's the people who first started brewing.
Yeah, I see no arrows there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a monk. That's
right.
That's So the patronage for soldiers, plague-stricken, archers, disabled people, athletes, cyclists.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka. Interesting.
He got around. Well, that's it. I'm going to drink.
So do we know the tie or the relation why they named this beer after him?
Yeah, they were not talking much on their website about it.
And what we've seen, coming looking for the image there, and we kind of talked about this a little bit before we got started, that they have different versions of the Saint Sebastian. They've got the Grand Cru, the dark, maybe some others. So
you gonna reuse that bottle, Andy?
Oh, keep it for lifelong. See, how hard was that? Brouwerij Sterkens of Meer, Belgium. Do like everybody else. Put the top on, label over it, boom, ship it, done.
Yeah.
You could have saved on these. Nobody needs these.
Yeah, there's not even a logo or anything on them, right?
Yeah, boo. Beer's good. Beer's good, but come on. Be better.
Too concerned with the logistics.
I wanted to hear that. I wanted to hear
You like the plop, huh?
The plop. Yep. The Flensburger plop.
Well, we do have one in inventory, so another Flensburger. So we will hear that before too terribly long.
Okay. Ben, what do you think?
Nice. Andy,
I know you provided this, didn't you?
I did.
Have you had it before?
Unfortunately, I probably should have just bought an extra one and gone ahead and drank it. So I didn't go first, but no, I haven't had it. I got it in Louisiana. We mentioned this on a previous review, I think, about stopping in Delta, Louisiana, right across the Mississippi-Louisiana border. If you're leaving Mississippi going to Louisiana, it's right when you go across the bridge around Vicksburg. So
20.
yeah, there you go. Some famous people from Vicksburg. on the
Yes.
show. So at least one of us. But there's a great little gas station there. We talked about before. It's a little casino. It's a liquor store. There's a daiquiri store out behind it now. I think it used to be a part of the store, but it got too big, so they moved it out back. But they have some beer that we just can't get in Mississippi, and this being one that I found there and was excited. Obviously I bought this on the merits of the bottle alone, even though it had a crown on it instead of a whatever that is. So anyway, that being said, this one's really good. I really like it. Andy, you mentioned all the different distinct qualities of this beer at the beginning, right after we took a sip. And yeah, I mean, the first few sips, that dry finish on the back end was kind of the first thing I noticed. And it's almost, I'm not a big wine drinker, but those first couple of sips were almost like drinking a wine, in a sense, with that dry finish, with the fruit flavors. For me, all that's kind of calmed down a little bit. I still get dry, and it just makes you want to drink it faster and faster, which at 10% isn't necessarily maybe the best thing. But all that being said, I really like this beer. I think it's one of those where we do this show. This makes me want to keep buying the Belgian beers that I find, because they all seem to be really good. They all have distinct flavors and they're very tasty. I really, really like this one. This one, 8.5 for me all day long.
Here.
You were running the show, so who's next, Andy?
I'll go next. Running the show, or run this joint. I've been trying to figure out the fruit, and it's almost like a grape or an apple or feel to it. It's really good, and you do not taste that alcohol. It is not it does not taste like 10%. So this, buyer beware. This might sneak up on you, because if you can almost guzzle this thing. It is so light and easy to drink. A little dryness at the end, but not too bad. Not as much as some other Belgian ales that I've had. And mild spice to it. It's good. Some about the fruit, a little type of lighter fruit than I'd want. I don't know if light is the word, but that feel the fruit, just for me, that keeps it to an 8.0 for me. I can't bring it up to that 8.5. I don't know. It's a great taste. I mean, if I'm giving it 8, I like it. I would want a different feel on that fruity flavor, I guess, to elevate it. Good job, Ben. Way to go into a gas station and get such a fine. I mean, that's weird. A microbrewery, a limited bottle in a ceramic bottle in the gas station. I mean, when you say this town, it is, people don't know, Delta, Louisiana is not even a blip on the map. It is convenience stores and, maybe some outlying communities and very rural. It is, it's known for its convenience.
Yeah, it's literally, probably, you being from Vicksburg can probably speak to this more than I can, but it's literally the first stop across the line. And a lot of the reason why was because people from Mississippi could drink there at 18, where it was 21 in Mississippi for a long time.
It was our Sodom and Gomorrah,
Yeah.
So a couple of bars, gas stations, packaged liquor stores. I mean, it was wonderful.
Yeah. So, I can remember, I know we're getting off on a tangent here. I can remember I've got an older sister who she was the one that when the law changed from 18 to 21, she was in that group, in that she could drink for like a couple of years, and then all of a sudden it turned 21 and she couldn't anymore, in Mississippi. But there was always still Louisiana that you could drive, from where I live, 45 minutes to an hour, and you'd be in the Delta. So and I think that's why another reason make such a big deal out of this stop. If you're ever leaving Mississippi, that's a great place to stop. That first stop there for some of these things we've mentioned. So,
It's in a Chevron station, I believe.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always do
It's
that
on,
Chevron
it's on the
station.
left if you're coming from
Yeah.
Mississippi. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
I mean, newsflash, you could get in at 15, you know, back when
Yeah.
they were giving licenses at 15.
Yeah. I never had that experience personally. I've only been there at legal drinking age personally, but anyway. Jay, what do you think?
Well, I think you guys covered it. I mean, Ben, you talked about the wine on the back end. That was the first few sips for sure. Andy, you basically stole what I was going to say with regards to kind of the grape, and almost to me, I could see maybe it being a little ciderish with some apple.
Yep.
As Ben would say, twang to it, but
Boo, boo, Ben.
but
Boo,
twist to
reference
it.
to Ben.
You know, I'm there with you, Andy. It's I'm not a huge cider person, so that kind of bumps it down. And some of the white wine for me, that I've never been a white wine person. I do love some really good reds, but it's a great beer. I'm thrilled you got it for us, Ben, and you know, it's an 8.0 for sure. Really, really good. And like you said, Andy, you can't tell the booze on it. I will say my bottle said 9.6 on it. And I would be very interested, since it's limited edition and they do it only once a year, to see what, you know, if you could get multiple years and compare them, because that would be really kind of cool. Like we've done with some other beers. And I thought it was funny, if you looked at the bottle too, this is also imported by a company out of California. So it likely came across, went to California, and then back to Louisiana.
Yeah.
So it's really
Saint
traveled.
Sebastian gets around.
Yeah. And this one, my bottle says it was, and I'm sure yours does too, that it was, I guess, bottled on January 30th of last year. So this is right at a year old. So yeah. I think that go back real quick, because you mentioned it, Andy, and reiterate, Jay, that, you know, yeah, I think that I get almost a grape on the front end, and then that almost turns into an apple on the back end, like just the flavors. When you mentioned the grape and the apple, because I was thinking, you know, just like a wine fruit flavor, but that apple, you definitely can pick that out.
Almost
So,
that ciderish.
yeah. So, but I don't, I mean, to me, I don't, that obviously doesn't take away from the beer. I think all of us have enjoyed it. I think it's been great. And I think that, man, if we see any of their other versions, we're definitely going to be grabbing them for sure.
I really want to try their dark now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is going to be an 8.2 for the Saint Sebastian Grand Reserve Ale. Definitely a very good Belgian ale that we have had today. You know, hey, go check out your local little dumpy gas station, because you may find that they have some great beer there. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers, that notification bell. Check us out on all the social medias down below. Let us know if you've had this. If you've had it, let us know what you think about it. Leave us a comment down in the description, or better yet, come hop in our Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server. It is a chat room, and you can tell us all about your experience with any Belgian ales. We'd love to hear that. Anything that you might want to see on the show here, just let us know. Lastly, there is a link for Hopped Up Beer Review merch, so you can check that out, like the glass there that Jay has, anything you might be interested in. I'm sure we have our label on it, or we can put it on it if we do not. With that, for Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.